Not much must be changed in terms of the competition rules, because the competition rules as such have a lot of tools that in fact have to be used in order to adapt to the current situation, such as, for example, the interim measures which have been used more recently. So it's more a question of intensity and using all the scale of measures we have in competition, and also a question of adapting certain market definitions and the way that we define markets that maybe need to be adapted. But the competition rules as such, they may not need so much change in my view. The question that might be asked is whether the timing in which the competition cases are brought and the duration of those competition procedures is acceptable for the kind of cases that we are talking about. And if that's not the case, and I would argue that indeed it is not the case for some of those cases, then the question becomes if we would not rather move to a type of rules that are more akin to ex-ante rules. But that's a different set of rules than really a change in competition rules as such. Ideally, for the type of players that we are talking about, so we're talking about big international or rather global players, you would obviously rather want to have a governance at the European level. However, that is not always easy, politically speaking, and therefore you need to have also a plan B if a plan A is not working. And in that regard, there is a very interesting precedent that exists under the telecom framework, which is one where national regulators are cooperating with the European executive. And that is certainly a very valid plan B in order to enforce the kind of rules that we would possibly adopt in digital markets, so ex-ante rules. On top of it, when we are talking about this cooperation like we have in telecoms between national regulatory authorities and the Commission on the other hand, there is already an important experience existing with regards to telecoms markets, where national regulators are notifying and cooperating with the Commission with regards to remedies that they are imposing. On top of it, there can be an interchange also between those authorities with regards to, where the Commission could adopt, for example, soft law instruments that would help national regulators to actually enforce the rules that would be adopted at a European level. So those two possible models, I think, are envisageable for the regulation of digital markets.